We're going to be sharing a lot of helpful tips today, talking about the pros and cons of immediate annuities, how those potentially may play a role for you. Compound interest accounts, with interest rates having risen, you might want to be looking at what are your options, how to boost your retirement savings after age 50, and lastly, retirement lifestyles worth trying. You want to stay tuned for all of this and so much more coming up right here, right now on Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
Hey, welcome to this segment on the pros and cons of immediate annuities. When we're in our office and we use the word annuity, it usually triggers a lot of reactions. And we're always curious to see what people are carrying in regards to their understanding of annuities. And so I have a quick little analogy. It's a little fun that I'd like to give you here with some manipulatives. I'm a very hands-on physical learner there, so I'm going to try to do a quick little experiment. And then make an analogy. So my favorite color is blue. Cool. You're sitting there thinking of different shades of blue. If you're inquisitive, you might say, okay, well, what shade of blue specifically? And why is that your favorite? Well, I think one of the shades of blue, my favorite, would be that deep blue that you can only see in a Caribbean ocean while you're on a cruise. There's a shade of blue that is just absolutely full of incredible family memories, and you never forget it. There's a blue that Hopkins Vikings wear, where I graduated high school from. That's a blue that you just never forget, that shade. There's a blue of Torch Lake. If you've ever had the ability to fly over Torch Lake, I didn't know Michigan could offer those kind of shades of blue from that lake. That's the view that you will never forget. So what's my analogy? Well, if you're not careful, you'll hear the word annuity and you'll say, oh, annuities, blue. But that's not necessarily true. There's a lot of different shades of blue that you have. And that's very true with annuities. There's so many different types of annuities and features of those annuities. It would be, you'd have to be careful to just lump them all up as the same shade. Today we're going to talk about maybe this one. So this is an immediate annuity, okay, that you might do a single premium immediate annuity, and we can talk about what those features might look like. Why would you want that? Okay, well, this immediate annuity is a contract between you and an insurance company to pay a lifetime income stream. And so what happens is you basically would give them money, let's say $100,000, and then they would give you a contract to say, we're going to let that become an income stream for you for the rest of your life. That usually starts within a month all the way up to within a year. Those payments start. They're basically going to contractually give you, these payments back as income stream for a set amount of time. Sometimes the payback period might be 5, 6, 8 years. Many times it's for life. Sometimes the options on the payback might be for a single life, just on you, or maybe there's a spouse that you want to cover, and you can do a joint life payout. Basically what happens is the insurance company is saying, if you live a really long time, we're going to pay you for the duration of that lifetime. What are some of those benefits? Sometimes people will say, I want to bridge my predictable income stream from age 62 to 70, just so I can defer my Social Security until I turn 70, and then I want to switch and have the annuity be done and have the Social Security payments start. And then my predictable contractual income is something I can calculate easily. So that would be a benefit. Sometimes clients want to make sure their spouse is taken care of, and so they'll do a joint payout where if they were to pass away, their spouse still has that continual income. You can build these to where they have cost of living adjustments on them to where those payments actually adjust up. You can build them to where there's a death benefit. There might be annuities out there that don't have any death benefit, and you have to be very careful of that, because that would enter into some of the cons of these things, where sometimes these insurance products, if you pass away, then your entire premium goes back to the insurance company, and there's no beneficiary money to pass on from an inheritance standpoint. There's fees that you have to be careful of. Some have fees, some do not. So you want to really be careful of those fees. You want to look at what kind of surrender charges there might be if you wanted all of that money back. Okay, what is that going to cost you? So if you're there wondering, I might be in the ballpark for looking into an annuity, please give us a call. We work with these all of the time. We think there's some beautiful shades of blue, and we think there's some terrible shades of blue. Using that annuity analogy. Hey, I hope that information was valuable. If you have any questions about annuities, please feel free to give us a call. You can always check us out on youtube.com/retiring well, and you can always give us a call at the number on your screen.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me.
Will help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Contact us today.
When you have confidence in your retirement future, you can live the life you've always imagined. Because of planning, you now have time to reflect on the wonderful memories of your life. You and your spouse finally have the luxury of leisure time together. To spend fun times with your grandkids, sharing the joy of their excitement about life. Smiling at the thought of quality time with your children and of picking up the check. At last, you have time to breathe and rekindle the love of your life. Why? Because you imagined what could be. You planned for retirement. So today, you own your future.
As you are planning for retirement, where's your journey taking you? Do you know where you are going? How are you going to get there? And what's the best route to take? Do you have a personal retirement roadmap? At Centennial Wealth Advisory, we specialize in retirement planning, and we have designed a complimentary retirement roadmap video series that can be customized based on your personal circumstance and preferences. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com/roadmap and provide us with some basic information that will guide you to your on-demand, customized retirement roadmap video. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
One of the earliest memories I have back in my schooling time is a teacher back in, I think it was maybe late middle school, talking about compound interest. And it really got me interested at that point with the financial services world and different investment things. We haven't heard a lot about compound interest lately because interest rates haven't been very attractive up until recently. So people are like, what does it matter if my interest compounds? 0 on 0 is nothing, right? But now that interest rates are better, we want to start looking at this again and making sure your money is working as efficiently as possible for you, right? So first, what is compound interest? Well, it's basically interest on your interest. You have a sum of money you've deposited with an interest rate that's going to pay you. As that interest earns and accumulates in your account, you have the opportunity to earn interest on that gain, right, or on that interest that you've earned. Unlike the opposite called simple interest, you just always earn on the original investment. So compounding interest is much more favorable for a saver because it gives you, again, more earning power as time goes along. So think of a general savings account. You put a sum of money in there at some specific time, and let's say you don't touch it. That money is going to grow. You're going to get a statement. It's going to show you what you've earned. Now your money is growing on that original investment, and now the next statement you get to grow on that interest as well. So it kind of has that snowball effect long term on that. Kind of gives us, again, more efficiency and more power in our savings. Versus simple interest, we're just earning on that. So one of the things with compound interest is you want to look at is what they call the compound period. And think of that as the times that it's going to compound. Investments and accounts are going to be different, and they have to state this or that. Compounding periods could be annually, semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, daily, or maybe even some combination of something or difference of altogether. But those are going to be different things. As a saver, the more often it's compounding, the more it's in your favor, correct? So if I'm getting daily compounding, that's a good thing. That means that interest is working towards me daily. On the flip side, again, simple interest, it's never compounding, right? So again, looking at the difference of that. So one word of caution or just a recommendation out there is when folks are advertising interest rates, there's different ways they can advertise these. So it's a bank, credit union, financial institution, whatever it may be, they might promote a very attractive rate out there. Take a look at what the interest is. Is it simple interest? Is it compounding interest? And then what is the compounding periods? Because that's going to play a role in how it's going to work long term. A compounding interest rate can actually beat a simple interest rate in some circumstances, again, because it has more earning power depending upon the length, the rate, and all of that. So sometimes a higher simple interest rate can actually underperform a lower compounding interest rate over a given period of time. So again, need to look at what's best for your situation and what the overall rules are and all the details of those accounts are. On the opposite side from savings is borrowing. Interest is obviously accumulated at various times of that. When you have compounding interest on your loan accounts, as the borrower, you don't want it to compound as much, right? Because that means it's accruing interest and costing you more. So oftentimes, not all of them, but oftentimes credit card accounts, they're compounding daily at many cases at a higher rate, correct? So when you're a borrower on that side, you want to be cautious of how it's compounding and how that's being calculated so you can determine what that overall cost is going to be to you. So again, hopefully that was helpful to kind of think of this. And again, it's nice to talk about interest rates finally again. Make sure your money is working for you. There's never been a better time in the last 20 or 30 years probably to take a look at your cash, your savings, look at those interest rates earning, see what that compounding looks like, and make sure your money is working most efficiently for you as well. If you haven't already done so, take a look at our YouTube channel on Retiring Well and hit subscribe. We have all of our TV shows have been uploaded there, some short clips on specific topics just like today's with compounding interest rates and so much more. We hope that you would find that valuable and you can watch it anytime. We appreciate you tuning into the show, and always, all of us financial advisors here across our 4 Northern Michigan locations would love to sit down with you and come into our office for a no obligations, no cost review of your financial plan so we can help you plan to retire well.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
Financial planning is more than just providing for yourself. It's making sure your loved ones are taken care of. It's preserving and protecting what you've worked for all those years. It's leaving a legacy to your children and grandchildren. It's providing a level of stability and security. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
You know, I see it quite frequently. I get, 50-year-olds, 50 to 60-year-olds come into the office, and the big question for them is, what can I do now to boost my retirement savings before I retire in a few years? And that's a great question, and there's so many different ways that you can boost your retirement savings prior to that magical time that you get to retire. One of those ways, and I always start with this one first, is to pay off the household debt that you have. So whether that's credit card debt, or maybe you've been working at that mortgage for a number of years and you're getting close to that, put those extra funds towards that mortgage as well, or whatever that debt may be that you have in your household. Focus on that first. Something can be said for that peace of mind that when you get to retirement, you don't owe anybody a dime. It's just great if you don't have any of that debt. Another option to boost those retirement savings is to maximize your IRA contributions. So if you're under the age of 50 for 2023, your max IRA contribution is just $6,500 annually. But once you hit that magical age of 50, you get an $1,000 catch-up contribution, okay? So you can contribute up to $7,500 annually. Now, let's say you did that from age 50 until you retired at age 65. And let's assume that you had a 7% growth rate, okay? Now, through the years, obviously, those IRA contributions limits will probably increase, but let's just assume that you have that $7,500 that you contribute for 15 years until you retire. With that 7% growth rate, you'd have just under $200,000 extra saved for retirement. Now, what about the 401k? There's another option there. So, if you're under the age of 50, the max 401k contribution is $22,500. But once you hit that 50 age plus, you can contribute even more. So the max in 2023 for a 401k contribution is $30,000 annually. So let's take that same scenario, okay? Let's say that, okay, you're in your 50s now, you've got more disposable income, the kids maybe are out of the house or they've graduated college and so forth, so you can stock away that money in that 401k and really max it out. If you did that for 15 years, maxing out that 401k with that same 7% growth rate, you'd have nearly $750,000 saved for retirement just by doing that over those last 15 years as you approach retirement. So that's just a huge way to boost those retirement savings. Another option is if, well, you've got enough disposable income that you've done the IRA contributions, you've maxed out the 401k, you can also contribute to an HSA or a health savings account. Now, you got to make sure you got that high deductible health plan, but if you do, that's just one more way to boost your retirement savings as you get closer to retirement. And then finally, there's another option. It's keep working, okay? So you don't have to retire at age 62 when Social Security starts, right? You can work a few more years. And by doing that, you're actually going to delay Social Security, which would then also boost your retirement income, right? I find a lot of times where clients, they retire from a job they've had for a number of years, and they had that purpose in that job. job. And then when they retire, they kind of were twiddling their thumbs looking, but what do I do now, right? And so I have a lot of clients where they go back to work and they work part-time, doing something that they really enjoy and really love to do. So don't forget about that. That is another option as well to boost those retirement savings. Yes, you can do those through IRA contributions, the 401k contributions, HSA contributions, and the like. But you can also work a little bit more or do part-time work, enjoying something that you really love to do. All right, well, take care. And by all means, don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. If you want to learn about how you can boost your retirement savings, please don't hesitate to call the number on the screen.
At Centennial Wealth Advisory, we take a holistic approach to your retirement planning. So it's not just looking at what your investments are, but what is that long-term income plan for the next 30, 40 years of your retirement? What about taxes and what role they play in your retirement plan? Estate planning, what about life insurance, health insurance planning, all key areas to consider when looking at your retirement. So please visit our website or call the number on the screen. We'd love the opportunity to sit down with you for a no-cost, no-obligation visit.
The culture in our office is phenomenal. We empower our team to be problem solvers. Oftentimes in this industry, things are going to change. So our team is empowered here to make decisions and to be able to problem solve for you. We have a lot of fun at the office and we're a close group. When you call here, you get a person and that culture shines through.
Relationships are so key when it comes to anything in life. And so here at Centennial Wealth Advisory, we focus a lot on team approach. We've started the Centennial Wealth Health Club.
We go down to the beach, we play some beach volleyball, some cornhole. Great time to just get together, relax with the team, but also get a little competitive as well.
It opens up those relationships to really get to know each other well. Building trust, the best definition that we've heard is consistency over time, and that's something that initially you can't get with a first meeting with someone, but as time evolves and our clients are working with us, they not only experience that with the financial advisory team, but also our tax team and health insurance team that all work together to ensure that they have a lifelong plan that they can count on.
It's a neat culture here in a small office. You don't necessarily have a lot of that corporate overhead. If we have a client who wants certain services, we can certainly offer those services, but go above and beyond with some of the other things that we do.
Confidence is something hard to put a price tag on. Finances don't just end with finances. Finances flow over into relationships, into daily emotions. And so when you can teach and you can get them to understand and they can find that confidence and you bring them to that, that's so rewarding.
I do think that what we're doing here is important. A lot of people think that they're fine, but they've never really looked into it. So if people can do more to be able to help themselves live a more fun and enjoyable retirement, but also to be able to take care of themselves, then it benefits the whole community.
Let's have a little fun with this episode and talk about different retirement lifestyles worth trying. So I love, after being here at Centennial Wealth Advisory for the past 18 years, hearing all the stories from our clients about how they're enjoying their free time, and it's one where you might cycle through different periods of leisure, and then there's busy times of activity that you're enjoying over those golden years. So maybe it's time that you go and rediscover some of those old passions or learn some new ones. So let's start off first with the beach. Here we are in northern Michigan. There's plenty of water around us. As far as retirement, you may not be able to afford that beautiful house on the lake, but there's so many great opportunities to get out on the water. I know there's so many of our clients that we've talked to that enjoy kayaking, whether that's the Platte River, I know, is a popular one, and actually one that I enjoyed over my years a whole lot. So the other one might be on the golf course. Maybe that's an activity that you enjoy. You like to get out. Hopefully you're out walking some of those holes and getting that exercise and getting that fresh air. Again, northern Michigan offers so much when it comes to golf. Another might be considering going back to school. I know here in Traverse City through NMC there's the lifelong and professional learning. So you might be able to look into art or culinary or maybe learning a different language. Maybe that's an opportunity that you're thinking of traveling overseas and you want to have a little bit of knowledge in what's being said. Another might simply be staying at home. You could relax. There's no longer the rush of work and can slow down a little bit, maybe sleep in if you've focused on paying off the mortgage. Maybe that provides a little less worry and a little less pressure. And there's opportunities around the house to do a number of different things that you can enjoy. Another opportunity might be to volunteer. I know there's so many great nonprofits that you could help participate in, or different churches and that you may want to be active in, and it's a great way to not only help others but also to socialize and build some of those long-lasting relationships that can be so important in life. What about a second career? Maybe you need the additional money, or you just simply enjoy working, or maybe it's a combination of the two. And maybe after your full career, maybe you get into some type of consulting work, or I know a number of you are doing different seasonal work, and there's so many opportunities in Northern Michigan, whether that's if you love gardening. The nurseries would love to have you, I'm sure. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you want to use your talent to run some type of business and have a little bit more flexibility. So that might be an option to pursue. You might be the type that's maybe a little bit more of a penny pincher, let's say, and you're trying, now you have that time to try and reduce, let's say the cable bill. I know that's one that people are always looking at, or maybe you're trying to go out and find a better interest rate on your savings. Maybe it's finding those different senior discounts. I remember 20 plus years ago and everything, I always enjoyed with my wife's grandfather, we'd go out and he would always order the senior coffee. I thought maybe there's something extra special about that senior coffee. No, it was just a little bit less expensive. So go and enjoy that, and you've worked so hard over all the years to get some of those extra savings. Maybe you're the dreamer and you want to rediscover that old passion, whether that may be writing or painting. I know my grandma loved to do her oil painting. I think she started that in her 70s and everything, and enjoyed that. Or maybe you're a musician and you want to bring that back out. Or lastly, what about if you want to be a gardener? You get that time. I know it takes time to do it right, and it's a great way to be outdoors and be active. And so I just want you to as you pursue the dream of retirement, or maybe you're already in that, just be looking at what are some of those different ways that you can get out and enjoy what Northern Michigan has to offer. And there's so many great opportunities. I know pickleball is another activity that has taken storm, and so I encourage you to get out and enjoy it, and we always hope that you plan to retire well.